and we will ban men. I have with me David Pakman. He is a progressive host and executive producer of the nationally syndicated radio and TV program, The David Pakman Show. And I wanted to talk to David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. Some beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. Some beta male.
Can you remind the audience, when you talk about being a beta male and being an alpha male, what are we talking about here?
There are males, most men today, male, they think and act like a woman. They're emotional, they are mentally off, they have no logic. And that's a beta male. They go along with homosexuality.
Hold on, whoa, Jesse, we got to, that's a lot.
LGBTQ.
That's a lot,
They
hold on.
agree with everything that's raw. Abortion, they think and act just like a woman. A beta male does. But another beta male doesn't, because he's a logical thinking. And they're controlled by the darkness of David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. Some beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. Some beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. Some beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. David Pakman. He is a beta male. Some beta male. David, you're not here to communicate. I really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to let you go. It's a waste of time to talk to you. We're not communicating. You're acting like an idiot.
Because you're asking bizarre questions.
You're
and not
acting like an
any.
idiot, and you're wasting my time. I appreciate you coming. All right, thank you for coming. Goodbye. Goodbye. Let him go. That's a progressive vote. All men who are progressive, or males who are progressive, are weak people.
I'm worried about my espresso machine. I'm not.
That could be your headline.
It's not a joke. No. It's just I'm worried about my lathe.
Out there like
Just pillow.
Who broke into my computer? Oh, the back end data just exploded. I'm talking about getting rid of the machine, melt them down and turn them into prison bars.
Pillow.
I'm not a lawyer. The lawyers are lawyers. The lawyers are lawyers. The lawyers are lawyers. Get rid of the machine. I'm talking about getting rid of the machine.
Just pillow.
Who did this attack? Who did this cyber attack? So you have, the good geeks, and they patch it up and they fix it and they put up better protection, virus protection. But here's what my attorney said. He said,
just pillow. They took the pillow phone. Do you frequently go to Hardee's? Is that a common place you go?
Okay, that's pretty funny, David.
No, it's not. I'm not.
Ha ha ha, that could be your headline, the machines. I said I would have passed through them and went to find a drive-through.
It's really incredible, the branding around that.
He said, no, you're not getting my phone. I said, well, arrest me, I've done nothing wrong. He said, no, we're not gonna arrest you. I said, well, you can do anything. You hack in, and you can get rid of the machine. I'm talking about getting rid of the machines.
I'm worried about my pillow.
No, Bruce, that's the worst thing for you because your cervical nerves in your neck, I will send you some pillows.
I'm worried about my lathe.
I'm talking about getting rid of the machines.
Okay.
Melt them down and turn them into prison bars.
Just pillow. All right, thanks, Mike.
Good.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Look at those eyes, man. That dude, he is gone, ladies and gentlemen.
Alex Jones is now very, very upset with me.
Look at that. That is a freaking predator right there. Who thinks he's smarter than you, thinks he's better than you, and he's gonna beat you. Pac-Man never talked to the New World Order, because Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. He's not a knight at the round table.
That's true. I'm not a knight at the round. That actually is accurate.
That dude is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Pac-Man. If I was telling my children who not to be, it's Pac-Man. Man's a loser. Smarter than you, thinks he's better than you, and he's gonna beat you. The evil's growing, it's coming. What you asked for is now at the door, scratching. So open the door and prepare to meet your destiny. Because Pac-Man's a loser. Man's a loser. That is a freaking predator right there. Who thinks he's smarter than you, thinks he's better than you, and he's gonna beat you.
Trump was doing this with his personal toilet.
But sinks, toilets, and showers.
Elements in bathrooms.
10 times, 15 times.
Elements in bathrooms.
We're looking very strongly at sinks and showers.
Elements in bathrooms.
10 times, 15 times.
Elements in bathrooms.
What on earth is going on with Trump and toilets? Trump's White House toilet would be clogged. With documents that Donald Trump was flushing down the toilet. Is this the explanation?
Big, massive dumps.
Elements in bathrooms.
10 times, 15
Trump was doing this with his personal toilet.
Elements in bathrooms.
and showers.
Big, massive dumps.
Elements in bathrooms.
Duty. 10 times, 15 times. Not me,
Elements in bathrooms.
God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
Elements in bathrooms.
Gentlemen, please, technical problems plaguing the stream right from the start. Welcome, everybody. It is so good to have all of you here, including Jonald Prump and so many other people. Today is day one of CPAC, and I have to tell you, it's going so poorly that it seems there are no streams and day one was canceled. It's beyond belief what is happening with CPAC this year. Many of you may know that the head of CPAC, Matt Schlapp, was accused of, I can't even believe I'm saying this, he was accused of pummeling an intern's junk. That's, I mean, you would think that I'm kidding, but I'm not. There is a sexual assault controversy wherein Matt Schlapp, the guy who runs CPAC, has been accused of pummeling the junk. These are the words that they're using. And a lot of people have turned down even going to CPAC this year. Now, today is day one. CPAC, as far as we knew, was happening right now, but it's like it doesn't exist. We look at the agenda. Okay, this is the CPAC agenda. CPAC back in Washington, D.C. They've got a full day of stuff, all sorts of speeches. Mercedes Schlapp is scheduled to speak in about an hour. They were hearing from members of Congress. All this stuff, okay? It's CPAC today. You can't find a stream anywhere, okay? It seems like everybody has bailed. You look at Right Side Broadcasting. they clearly say March 1st, 2023, that's today. And it's just like an endless loop. You just look at this, you click on live and this video just loops. This is the whole video. This just loops over and over. And then they have an image that says day one. And then when you click here to be taken to the Rumble page, there's just nothing. The only thing they have live is a Republican press conference. And even that isn't happening live. Okay. You then go to Real America's Voice, and they just have what seems to be some kind of looping interview with Devin Nunes, and then what's his name? Steve Bannon was interviewing a guy with a handgun. The guy had the handgun, not Steve Bannon. Okay, so that's what's going on here.
Pelosi kept over everybody. She's gone. She's still there, but right. She's at least not in charge.
Yeah. So there's nothing going on here. We then go over to the Newsmax YouTube channel, and it's Greta Van Susteren interviewing the biggest victim in the world who was treated unfairly at Martha's Vineyard, Alan Dershowitz. And there's no CPAC. There's no CPAC nor CPAP. There's nothing. It's literally not happening. So I genuinely can't tell you whether the entire event has imploded so badly that day one was canceled altogether. Or whether it's so low end and just worthless that networks have opted not to carry day one. I genuinely have no idea. We have plenty of things to do anyway, so I'm glad that you're joining me, and it's just so great to be back, and we're going to be live tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We're going to be doing all of it. But just to have a plan as we monitor for streams today, I did want to look at tomorrow's agenda, and we can agree together when we are going to go live. The earlier part of the day, I'm filming the podcast. So John Kennedy and Ted Cruz start a little after noon. It seems that those would be good things to cover. J.D. Vance, a.k.a. J.P. Mandel, will be speaking in the 1 o'clock hour. Who else is speaking? I mean, this is a very weak schedule. Devin Nunes is going at 2:25. JP, right? J.D. Mandel, Rick Scott speaking around 3. Then Mercedes Schlapp will be back. Who else are we even interested in here? I mean, it's just so bad. I think like the critical stuff I'd like to cover are probably Mike Pompeo and then Candace Owens. So tomorrow night, it might be like a later stream. Actually, we should at least do Matt Schlapp and Chris Ruddy. By the way, this is, I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this. The CEO of Newsmax, Chris Ruddy. Damn, am I supposed to say, am I doing something? Let me just think through if I'm doing something wrong here. Nah, you know what? I don't care. The CEO of Newsmax has personally reached out to me a couple times to say he likes the David Pakman show. Now, I'm not saying that he's secretly a liberal or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is he says he likes the David Pakman show. And it's pretty damn interesting. There's no NDA or anything. He just sent me some messages privately and said, you do a good job and I like what you do, sort of stuff. It's weird, right? I mean, it's an interesting thing given the weaponized nature of Newsmax. But anyway, I think tomorrow I should plan to start maybe at 4:30 or something like that. So we'll get the Schlapp Ruddy thing, and then Pompeo. We'll hear from Senator Eric Schmidt. And then we will hear from Candace Owens. But as far as today goes, we're going to continue monitoring. Right Side Broadcasting seems not to be covering it. They've got an endless loop on their own website. Some very strange loop is happening with Real America's Voice. And let's see if I have anything else here. No, that seems to be the vast majority of it. So we're going to look at a few other things. Now, so everybody knows the strife that CPAC is having. Conservative leader Matt Schlapp is accused of fondling a male campaign staffer in Georgia. Herschel Walker campaign aide says that Schlapp groped him without his consent in October. Wow. He reached in between my legs and fondled me, the former Walker staffer told NBC News. To my shame, I didn't say anything. went on to say, what else did they go on to say? There was this crazy thing about, okay, Schlapp drank Tito's vodka and began intruding into my personal space. At one point, Schlapp bumped into the staffer's gun while their legs touched. Now, is gun a euphemism here? It's not, right? I mean, I think this is literally like the staffer was armed with a firearm. Is that, or is that what we are to understand here? It's so insane. Sig Sauer. That's how I like to pronounce it. Are you uncomfortable looking at me? Schlapp asked. So it's like, is Schlapp one of these homophobic gay guys? I just have no idea. I have no idea, but it is insane. And meanwhile, they're holding CPAC as if nothing is going on, although it seems that they are having problems because day one seems to be completely missing here. Then there are text messages that were exchanged. It's all crazy. It's completely insane. If he had made a polite pass at me and left it at that, only me, Matt, and God would know about that. Yeah, it's all crazy because Schlapp is one of these guys who claims that, gay people are a problem and all of this stuff. And I guess he's gay or bisexual. I don't know. It's all really, really, really wacky. Let's look at a couple of super chats that are coming in. I don't want to ignore people. Meg Wine says, congrats to you and the missus on the perfect little one with love for your baby girl. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Meg Wine. Let me get to a couple other things here. Let's see what we have. Oh, I want to say a big thank you to Jason Sickmeyer for gifting a membership on my website. I really do appreciate that. And a bunch of people have dumped in memberships on Twitch who I want to thank. Dirtnap, Tool Moo, Charles Wieland, Lo-Fi Potato, Jonald Prump, Gatsby Cat, and Rated Roy. Nug Wrangler gifted 5. That's 12. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 additional. 7 and 12 is 19. 19 plus 1. 9 and 1, 0, carry the 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. That puts us at 20, and I really appreciate that. And I will open phone lines tonight if we get to 100. I shouldn't even mention this, but last night I did a sort of like end the month with a bang on TikTok, and we had this TikTok-only code, TikTok Feb. It was supposed to expire at midnight. It didn't, and so if anybody wants to take advantage of that code, you would technically still be allowed to, although it's, pretty dicey. A couple other super chats coming in. Kratos Orion says, sir, do you believe the word weeb is a slur? Not familiar enough with it to be able to say. So I wouldn't be able to say for sure. David, do I need to worry about Michael Pillow coming for my air fryer? I haven't even gotten an air fryer, but I see all these great air fryer recipes. So I am looking very strongly at an air fryer, although my girlfriend is saying it's just going to take up space on the counter. You turn our oven on convection and you get the same thing. But the truth is, it takes a lot longer to heat up a convection oven. So even if it's, quote, the same thing, you're not going to cook salmon in 12 minutes in a convection oven, in the sense that you first need to heat it up completely, which takes a while. Then maybe it'll be 12 minutes. Okay. So I don't want to stigmatize air fryers, but I also am not sure my girlfriend will allow me to get one, is basically where we are as of right now. And it's a sad situation. I'm not going to lie about that. Okay. Continuing on here. Do you guys want to know about a little drama that's going on? A certain guy named Glenn Greenwald and a woman named Brianna Joy Gray are now going after me because I don't think that Marianne Williamson's campaign for president is interesting. Do you guys want to know about that, or should we skip the drama altogether? Anybody want to weigh in on that? It is quite a pathetic scene that is going on, I have to tell you. People are interested. A couple people say skip. People say go for it. Okay, here's what's going on. Marianne Williamson is running for the Democratic nomination. She's challenging Joe Biden. Now, if Joe Biden runs, there's not going to be a serious primary. There aren't going to be debates, and Marianne Williamson will accomplish nothing. Okay? There are people, 3 people wrote to me and said, David, Marianne Williamson will push Biden left. No, she won't. because she won't even get on a stage with Joe Biden. If Biden doesn't run and there's like a broad primary, she also has no chance. Okay. But fine, whatever. For me, I look at Marianne Williamson and I go, okay, does she have any experience? No. Does she have any expertise? No. Does she have any community that would allow her to get things done if she somehow became president? No. It's sort of like you might go to someone for Reiki, which I don't. I think Reiki is nonsense. But you might go to someone for Reiki and they might want Medicare for all. But that doesn't mean you make them president. And it doesn't mean that if they become president, they'll be able to get Medicare for all done, right? Yes, Marianne Williamson has good views about climate change. But you can also go to an acupuncturist who might have good views about climate change. It doesn't mean you make them the president of the United States. So Glenn Greenwald responds to my clip about it, where I read some quotes from Marianne Williamson. And he says, those quotes aren't remotely kooky. They're reflective of someone engaging the vast mysteries of life via spirituality and transcendence. But to utterly conventional midwits serving as normalcy enforcers, David Pakman show, anything beyond New York Times op-ed page dreck seems crazy. Then Brianna Joy Gray weighed in and said, Biden guy wants to vote for Biden again. This is why that part of the left is dead. That part of the left. What, the part that only ever is the one that wins anything and is the only one that gets anything done? Which is the part that's not dead that Brianna is referring to? So, listen, I defend Marianne Williamson's right to run. I support her and anyone who wants to run, running. This is the American way. My opinion is that she's not interesting. My opinion is she won't push Biden left. My opinion is I don't want someone with no experience or expertise of any kind in any way related to the way politics works being the nominee or president. That's not interesting to me. So sue me. Okay. So, listen, these are I don't know about Brianna Joy Gray. I'm not familiar with her really, but Glenn Greenwald was one of the Toolsies in 2020. And I'm seeing now that the Toolsies have been completely humiliated because Toolsy was sort of like this pseudo anti-wokeist, anti-vax, right, libertarian, populist rhetoric, word salad type person. She was never on the left, the way some people said she was kind of the last true leftist. A lot of the Toolsies have been humiliated because of what happened with her. And I'm seeing a little bit of the Toolsy energy shift and get behind Marianne Williamson. And I'll be quite honest with all of you guys. It's all a complete and total joke. A complete and total joke. So have at it. Let's have a competition. Allow the marketplace of ideas to get Marianne Williamson as much support as she's able to get. I defend her right to run. Not interesting to me. Campaign going nowhere. Have fun, okay? Everybody have fun. Thanks to Towel C, Sling Blade, TR Napsta, Jen Here, and Robot Laser Party for re-upping Twitch Prime subscriptions. I very much appreciate that. Let's continue because I have so many other things to look at with everybody here. Let's see where we are. Okay, let's go over here. Oh, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. Listen to this. This is one of the dumbest things I have ever seen. Oh, I don't even know. How do I even explain this? There is some very old sort of like racist theory, I guess I would call it, that sought to divide the races into Mongoloids, Caucasoids, and Negroids. Okay? It's like been widely done away with, and it's all insanely pathetic. But on Newsmax, they brought on this guy, Vernon Jones, to talk about, I don't even know what. And he tried talking about Mongoloids, Caucasoids, and Negroids. And listen to the way he says them. Like, even he doesn't seem to understand. Just listen to this, okay?
What he said yesterday, he said, at this church, I'm a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
Oh, okay. This is all about Joe Biden saying I'm a white boy, but I'm not stupid. It was a joke Joe Biden made. I don't know if it's funny or not. I don't really care. Listen to this.
Vernon, I mean, where'd that come from?
Let me drop back for a second. First of all, Jason, my good friend, being Latino is no race. There's only three races: Monogoid, Caucasoid, and Negroid.
Okay, did you hear that? Monogoid, cock a sword. I'm a caucasoid, is what they've told me. But when I was a kid, I was a different thing, okay? Listen to that again, okay? He's not even on board with the right racist terminology.
Drop back for a second. First of all, Jason, my good friend, being Latino is no race. There's only three races: Monogoid, Caucasoid.
Monogoid and a caucasoid. Completely disgusting conversation, okay? This is what they're talking about on Newsmax. Cock a sword. Also, Brontosaurus is one that I think should be considered. So let's just see how it continued.
And Negroid. But liberals create this whole new class or a new race called Latino.
Liberals don't want to talk about caucasoid, and they don't even really want to talk about monogoid either.
They are no race. And it is very clear. He did say that Hispanics are more diverse in their thinking than African American, not diverse in where they come from. As a matter of fact, Spaniards have nothing to do with Mexicans, and they all speak the same language. But again, liberals created this race and made it unique based on...
The liberals invented caucasoid and monogoid. They invented it out of whole cloth, out of thin air.
You speaking Spanish.
Yep. Do you speak Hispanic, sir?
So let's be clear about that. And two,
crystal clear analysis, by the way. Just pristine analysis.
Joe Biden stands in front of a black college like Morehouse and Spelman. He says that the reason why black businesses aren't as successful as whites is because they don't have lawyers and they don't have accountants. That is racist. That shows
there is only one true race. We are all Caucasaurus rex. Oh God, these people are insane. Insane. So that's a really powerful discussion about the nuances of race, as you can imagine. Wow. Okay, let's continue. Oh, whoa, hold on a second. Thank you to S. Prez for dumping in 59 subscriptions, putting us at 84. I will open phone lines at 100. And even though I'm not supposed to tell you about it, the coupon code TikTokFeb, which was supposed to only be for last night's TikTok stream, is active. It is a 70+% discount, and we are deleting it at midnight, okay? Nug Wrangler dumping in 5 more subscriptions, putting us at 89. So listen, folks, this is the time. This is the time. Grab one of those TikTok Feb memberships. Okay, other super chats coming in. David, sir, should people make an effort to unblock? I have absolutely no idea what that means. To unblock what? Should people make an effort to unblock? Sure. Yeah, make the effort. I don't really know what it means, but I would say, yeah, make the effort. Oh, by the way, speaking of eugenics, this is on the podcast today, but I know not everybody has necessarily checked it out. Here's Candace Owens suggesting a sort of eugenics breeding program for math skills. Interesting. I'll take a listen to this.
So yes, it is correct to say that these dogs were bred to fight.
They treated him like a dog.
They were bred to attack and they were bred to kill over many, many years. And the question of whether or not breeding works, of course it does. The question of whether or not Darwinism is real, of course it is. You can breed for height. You can breed for intelligence. You can breed for stupid, right, if you really want to, right? Obviously, This can take place. You can breed for athleticism. We see examples of this all the time, but it's important to note,
folks, this is like 1800s eugenics stuff, huh?
That just because you are bred in one way or the other does not mean that you are locked into that permanent state, right? So right now,
genetics aren't destiny.
The most mathematically capable people in the world are Koreans. Yes. Does it mean that Koreans are forever going to be the most mathematically capable people in the world?
In fact, quite frankly, the best race at mathematics is Caucasoid.
Start breeding Americans to be better at math. We could start doing what they do over in Korea, or we could not. And we can remain probably the dumbest mathematical country in the world.
And it's so funny because she's so close where she's like, we should really do something to be better at math. Right. We should. We should fund education. We should not try to be crowbarring creationism into science class. We should not be wasting time trying to ban books. We shouldn't be trying to eliminate the Department of Education. We should fund education. You don't need to breed anybody if you want to improve math. Just start properly funding education. She's almost there. She's like, we need something to improve at math when children try to learn math in school. What could we possibly need? Eugenics. That's what we need. No, she's like 90% of the way there and then completely jumps the shark. And by the way, actually, you know what? Let's not, I'm stopping myself. Let's not even go in that direction. Bay Photo with a super chat says, those dang Libera swords. By the way, what's the update on the channel? YouTube algorithm behaving again? Things have improved a little bit since the bottom out dump that took place in early January on the YouTube channel. But it's not going great, I guess I would say. We're at 1.648 right now. Just as a reminder, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It costs nothing. It is the most important signal there is to YouTube to recommend our content. It's people subscribing, and it's free, okay? So make sure if you're watching on YouTube and that subscribe button is enabled right now, make sure that you press it so that it gets grayed out, and then that'll be a really great thing. One other note, the Spanish channel is live. Many complaints about the fact that I'm not doing all the videos. Guys, I can't do an English language show and then streams and all this stuff, and then in addition do a Spanish language show, okay? I can't do it. But I did record a very special message to everybody today in Spanish, just to try to satisfy some of the demands. Bienvenidos a mi canal en español o en castellano, como decimos en Argentina. Ya me han llegado un montón de mensajes de gente diciendo, no, pero David, señor, llorando mucha gente. Yep, even in the Spanish messages, people call me sir and cry. Como me gusta decir, ¿cómo puede ser que vos no estás haciendo el doblaje? Es la voz de otro. Y ya lo expliqué. No tengo tiempo. Honestamente, tengo tanto trabajo con el canal en inglés y el podcast y todas estas cosas que no tengo las horas en el día para grabar una segunda vez todo el contenido en español. Entonces, estamos usando doblaje, es un proyecto para llegar al público hispanohablante de Estados Unidos. Está lleno el internet de contenido derechista, político en Estados Unidos. Mucho de ese contenido completamente deshonesto. True. Entonces, este es un proyecto para presentar una alternativa, otra opción. Así que por favor, háganme el favor de avisarle a sus amigos, a sus primos, tíos, padres que prefieran consumir este tipo de contenido en español. Les pueden avisar de este canal. Cada tanto voy a... Okay, all right, you get the point. So anyway, I'm not doing the dubbing myself. I just don't have the hours in the day. I just can't do it, okay? I just can't do it. So it is what it is, and the channel is live. And it's a fantastic thing. LC007 has just re-upped a Twitch Prime subscription, putting us at 90. We will open phone lines tonight if we get to 100. It is day one of CPAC, but it seems like CPAC has been canceled. Let's just check in again. Is Right Side Broadcasting live? It is not. Is Right Side Broadcasting live on this channel? It is not. Real America's Voice? Nope. And then Newsmax is selling emergency radios, apparently. Yeah, so we don't know what's happening at CPAC. We don't know if day one has been canceled due to subterfuge of some kind. It's really very, very unclear what is taking place there. But it's bizarre. Bizarre stuff. Okay, let's get back to a couple other things. Marjorie Taylor Greene using an extreme zoom lens, as you can see here, describing the event that took place, oh God, at a restaurant the other night where she says she was attacked. Listen to this.
A restaurant, and this woman and her adult son finished their dinner and decided on the way out they were going to ruin it for everyone else. And started calling.
You know, I don't know that everyone's dinner was ruined because Marge was insulted.
Me terrible names and screaming at the top of their lungs, F you, Marjorie. Well, you know, it's so disrespectful, not only to me, but also to the restaurant, their staff, and other patrons.
She doesn't know that. The restaurant staff might have been disgusted with her presence there. They might have liked it.
That are there having dinner. But this is who the left is, Jesse, in your restaurant.
Yeah. She previously said that Democrats should be harassed when they go to restaurants, interestingly enough. So a little bit of a hypocritical double standard there, I think we might say. Austin says via Super Chat, day one of CPACman. Yeah, we will be live. So let's get back to the agenda briefly. So my thought is tomorrow I will start with the Matt Schlapp speech. Then we'll hear from Mike Pompeo, Eric Schmidt, and then Candace Owens is going to speak. Then let's look at Friday. Friday, I will probably start. There are a lot of lunatics early in the day, but I'm just not going to stream that early. Sebastian Gorka and Jack Posobiec. Marjorie Taylor Greene is speaking at 10 a.m. Obviously, the most important time of the conference is Friday morning at 10 a.m. That's when they're putting her. Gates at 10:30, Guilfoyle, Trump Jr. Interesting. Maybe I should stream the morning. I don't know that I'll have much of an audience, but there's actually a lot of really crazy stuff in the morning. Then in the evening, Ben Carson, Wayne LaPierre, he's a lunatic. This isn't even evening yet. Viana Schlapp, I don't know who that is. Yeah, I mean, I think my instinct would be to cover like Vivek Ramaswamy, Steve Bannon, Nigel Farage maybe would be the way to go on Friday. And then Saturday, I'm probably only going to do the Scrump speech. Oh, but Tulsi is speaking. It'd be interesting to hear what the last true liberal will say. Jair Bolsonaro, dear God, what an insane event. Pillow will be speaking. Boebert, Elise Stefanik, Monica Crowley, and then Scrumps at 5:25. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Saturday seems to be kind of like the main day. So maybe that's the day to cover a whole bunch of stuff. We'll see. I want to say thanks to Eric Pearson and Vahid Kasai, who just signed up on my website using the coupon code TikTokFeb. Now you might be saying, David, we're not on TikTok and February is over. That's exactly right. But the code is still live. We're at 92 out of 100. I will open phone lines if we get to 100 today, which is a critically important thing. All right, we did Marjorie Taylor Greene. We did eugenics from Candace Owens. We did Caucasword. What was this? Oh, we did this one. Yep. Jamie Raskin video. I did want to play this for you. Let's take a look. Oh God, we've got an ad. Yeah, this website, if you have an ad blocker, like the videos don't play. Okay, here we go.
Inflation engulfing the globe since 2020.
What the heck? I'm almost signing up for this thing. Did you see that? That was bizarre. Oh, don't tell me I'm getting another ad.
Shut.
Oh God, what a web. This website is, it's a mess. It's a mess of a website, barely functioning.
Engulfing the globe since 2020. That's serious economic policy, what President Biden and the Democrats are engaged in. And they have a silly little symbolic messaging bill for a couple of notations they didn't even want to publish originally within the process of offering executive orders. Meantime, 30 seconds.
One more minute to Mr. Raskin.
Thank you.
Gentlewoman,
we created 12 million new jobs in America. How many million jobs do they want to erase over there? In their desperate, sudden pursuit of inflation. You know, they raised the debt limit 3 times under Donald Trump. Now they talk about the debt limit all the time. They raised it 3 times, and they contributed under Donald Trump 25% of all the debt in the United States from George Washington to Joe Biden. 25% of the debt under one president, Donald Trump. And they did that. And now they dare come talk to us about inflation. And the bill that they advance is one to have some people pass some more paperwork around. Come on, give me a break. Give us something better than the running on empty initiative with no new ideas at all. We recommend a no vote. What real economic action requires is precisely what President Biden is already doing.
Jamie Raskin has been on absolute fire lately. It's actually pretty stunning stuff to see. Good for him, though. Absolutely good for him. You really like to see it. Mad asks via Super Chat, David, any more debates in the pipeline? Nothing right now. Nothing right now. But I'll let you know if anything comes up. Another Super Chat. CPAC sounds like a dystopian carnival of insanity. Obama, please and thank you. Keep it up, David. Absolutely. Obama. Very, very much appreciate that. And then a big thank you to Sterling Lana for gifting 2 Twitch subscriptions, which puts us at 100. Let's open up some phone lines, folks. Let's do it. I will take some calls via Discord. It seems like CPAC Day 1 has essentially been canceled. So let's do it. Go to the Discord at davidpakman.com. Oh, this is our Discord music. Start the stage. We'll call it Live Calls 3/1/2023 stream. There we go. Okay. davidpakman.com/Discord. Join the waiting lobby if you would like to chat with me. We will talk to a few people and see what is on everybody's minds. Thanks to Hippie Chick for resubscribing via Twitch Prime. I always appreciate that. Thanks to Jacob Goldshoal, Timothy Guff, and Heath Wood for dumping in memberships using the code TikTokFeb. Folks, the TikTokFeb code was supposed to expire last night through a technical issue. It did not. It expires tonight, okay? 70% off a membership at joinpakman.com. If you want to talk to me, make sure to request to speak on the Discord. We're going to go first. Remember, name in town if you want to get on. Let's go to Jeff from Georgia. Jeff from Georgia, welcome to the live stream. What's on your mind today, sir?
Hey, David, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. Hey, I had just a couple questions.
Really?
First, you've kind of, not to put a label on it, but described yourself as a social democrat.
Yes, I am not a socialist. I am. You may be disappointed to hear.
No, that's fine.
Okay, good.
What is the piece that is missing for you to go over into that democratic socialist part? What isn't quite doing it for you?
Well, it's not. Oh, and people are telling me you're much louder than I am. Let me just turn you down a little bit. It's not that there's a piece that isn't doing it for me. It's like the socialism piece isn't doing it. I am not behind saying that as a matter of law, business ownership must be socialized. And so if you create a business, then you need to divide up ownership of that business across employees. That to me is an authoritarian imposition. So I'm just not behind that. I'm not into socializing industries, with very few exceptions. Like, for example, we really should be taking the profit out of healthcare, and as I've talked about, right. I don't know why we would do that. I don't know how to justify that. So it's less about like which piece. It just doesn't really make any sense to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, fair enough. I just never really heard you kind of like articulate that specific point before, but
check out my YouTube channel, Why I'm Not a Socialist, where I go into it in more detail.
Beautiful. I will come with tears in my eyes. And then the second one, are you familiar with the spirit Fernet Branca?
Of course, I'm Argentinian.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. What is the correct ratio in your eyes to the Fernet and Coke? Because I've heard...
Listen, here's the thing. I know. It's like everybody's talking about 80-20 or 50-50, all these different ratios. I don't drink soda, so I quite frankly couldn't care less. I have Fernet with a couple of ice cubes, and I don't care what ratio people dump into their cups. It makes absolutely no difference to me. I'm not taking a position on it.
Okay, good. Very neutral position.
Yeah, I'm basically like Switzerland on this issue.
Yes. Well, awesome. Well, big fan, David. I have been trying to get on for a while now, but love what you do. And yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Jeff from Georgia, great to hear from you. Let's go next to George from Virginia. George from Virginia, welcome to the live stream. George from Virginia, welcome to the live stream. Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So I know that it's kind of old, but I wanted to talk about the Patrick Bet-David interview.
Sure.
So I wanted to give you like my opinion of where I think it might have went wrong and see if you think I'm onto something.
Okay.
So the first thing was when he started talking about Trump, did you notice how he got defensive?
Yes.
Okay, so I think what happened there was he thought because you were criticizing Trump voters that you might have been like making a personal attack at him, because I assume he was a Trump voter.
Oh, yeah, he's absolutely a Trump voter. It's possible that that's why he became defensive. I mean, the truth is, he is in one of those categories. He is a guy who made a lot of money and he wants low taxes. And so he's not, it's not pejorative that he is in the category of sort of like the low tax, low business regulation, fiscal right wingers that like Trump,
Yeah, definitely. And the other part where he kind of went off the rails was when you brought up polling. Did you notice how when you brought up polling, he got really defensive because he's like, oh yeah, what, you got a poll for that? Do you remember when he did that?
Yes, I do.
So I think what happened there was he thought, David's bringing up polls and I have no knowledge of polls. So now he felt like maybe he was out of his element and therefore he couldn't defend himself.
It's completely plausible.
Yeah. So those are just my big two observations. I just wanted to throw them at you and see how you felt about it.
I think you're very much onto something there, George.
Okay. Well, great, David. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thank you. Great to hear from you. Couple super chats. Guitar Hero says, do you closely follow international politics of any countries? I've been listening to a lot of James O'Brien of Britain's LBC recently. Mostly Argentina, I would say. U.S. and Argentina are the two countries I follow the closest, really, I would say. Let's go next to Herb from Long Island. Herb from Long Island, welcome to the program. What's going on today?
Hey, David. Yeah, I think this happened last time, but it's Herb with a hard H.
Oh, it's Herb. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Herb. Yeah. It's interesting. You just as a quick aside, you talk about the historian versus a historian. Mm-hmm. My father is actually a English major poet laureate. He confirmed if it starts with a consonant, you should always use a, and if it has a vowel sound, you should have an. So listen, historian has an
I know the rule. Of course I know the rule. But this is not about the rule. This is about the fact that I understand that if you just say the word historian, that you start with a consonant. But in practice, there's a lot of sort of running it together in a way where an historian is very common. And even many historians say it that way.
Oh, I've never heard, you're the first person I've ever heard that for historian, at least.
Wow.
Hour and all the other things, sure, but not historian.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, no, it just never happened before. I wanted to ask, so I know that the numbers have increased for these like anti-trans bills that have come out this year. I think more in 2 months than all of last year.
Correct.
Where do you think that this will end up in like a year's time? Do you think that it's just all front loaded? Do you think that this will keep up with this trend of 2 months? Suddenly we'll have like in like 3,000 by the end of the
No,
year. I think there's got to be a
probably,
breaking point.
I think it'll probably slow down. The reason you're seeing more right now is because you have a lot of new elected officials who were just sworn in, and so they're front loading a lot of it. I don't think you're going to see the same rate of anti-trans bills continue through the next year.
Well, we can hope not, but like it just seems overly aggressive to the point of like almost comedy. If it wasn't so depressing,
if it wasn't so depressing and dangerous, it would be somewhat funny. But sadly, you're right; it's not.
All right. Yeah. No. Just the historian thing I wanted to mention, and the question about the bills. I know you got a bunch of people, so I'll let you move on.
All right, Herb with a hard H from Long Island. Great to hear from you. Let's go next to, I don't know how to pronounce this. Is it Amir from Jordan? It's just AMR, which doesn't. It seems like there should be another vowel in there somewhere. I'm sorry. What was that?
Amr.
Amr. Oh, okay. Very interesting. I'm not familiar with the name. Is it etymologically related to Amir?
No, it's like it's a letter that doesn't exist in English. It's a.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fascinating. All right. Well, welcome to the program. I think you're our first Jordanian caller that we've ever had.
All right. That's nice. I've been following you for a while, actually.
I appreciate that.
Like I followed your show for a long while, and most of the political commentators on YouTube, and I was like, coming from a Middle Eastern country, there's a lot of people, especially in my age group, who are thinking about immigrating to the US. And like, with all my knowledge and the things I watch, I tell them, no, it's not the best place to go.
Interesting. So let's see. Yeah. What age group of people are you talking about?
Around 30.
Around 30. Okay. And they're folks who have expertise in what fields?
Mostly IT and
IT, like the tech space to some degree. And do they speak English as well as you do?
Most of them, yes.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know about it. I don't know what the best places to go are if one is looking to go somewhere. But 30-year-olds with IT skills and English language skills equivalent to yours have the potential to do quite well in the United States.
No, my argument is like you're gonna be happier if in like more other Western countries, because eventually you're gonna get old, you're gonna need medical assistance, you'll need to be sure that your kid's gonna get a good education.
Yes.
And you need a stable political system is gonna be all right.
You're not wrong. What Western country would you recommend to some of these people you talk to?
Like, if they speak good English, I recommend Australia or the UK, but the UK is very hard. For people to search.
I don't know much about the Australian immigration system. Is it? Do you know? Is it difficult to move to Australia permanently?
I think it's easier.
Oh, okay.
Like for me, I didn't really search it, but I have my own business and stable enough for me not to want to immigrate.
For you, you feel like the economy and your industry in Jordan are stable enough that you're comfortable there.
Yeah.
Right. That's great.
But the question is, where did the U.S. go wrong? Like, I love the U.S. I love the Constitution, and
that's a difficult question. I
movement.
mean, check out my interview with Noam Chomsky. Not for anything he says, but I actually lay out the. I mean, he said interesting things, but I lay out the path of how I believe the U.S. got to where it is today. But that is certainly a question that exceeds the scope of this phone call. That's for sure.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Amr from Jordan. Great to hear from you. I really appreciate it. All right. Super Chat says drink Fernet every time they say woke during CPAC. Yeah, I don't recommend that. You'll end up with alcohol poisoning. Thanks to Landon Shiflett for signing up on my website with the coupon code TikTokFeb. TikTokFeb puts us at 105 for the day, which is fantastic. CPAC day 1, I guess, seems canceled. There are literally no streams. So we're taking some phone calls, and then tomorrow we will have CPAC day 2, which I guess kind of becomes day 1. Sullivan from Phoenix, Arizona, welcome. If you want to talk to me, go to davidpakman.com/Discord and join the waiting lobby. We are taking the calls via Discord. Sullivan from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hello.
What's
Can
on your
you hear
mind?
me?
Yes, I can.
Hello. So what I was thinking about was implementation of Medicare for all. So I like the idea, but the problem I see is if we just give everyone Medicare, we haven't guaranteed access for like those in rural communities. So I think maybe we should. Would it be economically feasible to go further and like not only insure everyone, but also make sure that everyone has a provider in their area?
Yeah, that's already an issue, quite frankly. There are places where that's an issue. And there's already a shortage in many specialties. I mean, primary care doctors, there's a shortage. Dermatologists, there's a shortage. There's a number of other specialties that dentists, there's shortages. So it's not just about getting people the coverage and insurance, but you've got to make sure that there are providers as well. But that second part is moot if people can't afford and don't have coverage, you know?
Yeah, which kind of tells me that it's actually a twofold problem that both need to be solved. And what terrifies me is if we solve just one of those parts without the other, it makes it a really strong Republican talking point that, oh, you have Medicare, but you don't have access.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, it's a strong talking point in different ways, depending on what point you're trying to make and your perspective. But a lot of this is a problem that's actually been building for a while. And there's a documentary on Netflix. I forget the name of it, but it's about rural Tennessee. And there's places that just like, there's no dentistry. There's no, it's really crazy. Yeah, you're bringing up a very important issue.
And is there, and now that you mentioned shortages of doctors, is there like good access to education for the people that want to be doctors?
Yeah. So you're saying like, are there enough medical schools? So, right. Is sort of the question.
Yep. Yeah, basically.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I believe there are, I think part of the problem is more doctors exiting and not enough coming in to replace them. So I don't know that it's an issue of not enough capacity at medical schools at all.
It could not just capacity, but also like, is there even if there's the capacity, is there the opportunity for someone who's who's grown up low income?
Well, whoever wants to can get loans, and then there's a question as to whether that's prudent and whether they'll be able to pay them back and how long. But yeah, poor people can go to medical school if they get in by taking out loans. The question is, does that just make the student loan crisis even worse because of what medical school costs? That's a big topic. But yes, it's possible if you get in to just get loans. And a lot of people think that that's a bad idea.
Yeah, and honestly points to me to maybe we should be better subsidizing this since we need doctors anyway,
Yeah.
even before trying to implement Medicare for all.
Yeah, and a great thing is, I don't know about before, we can do it at the same time, but some of the programs where if you work in certain underserved areas as a doctor for a certain number of years, your medical school debt is forgiven. We need to expand programs like that.
That I agree with.
Yeah, and
The
those
other thing is if
programs
you don't-
exist.
Oh, yeah. Which, yeah, they just seem underfunded, unfortunately.
Yeah, they could be expanded. But all good issues, good questions.
Yeah, and last thing I'm thinking about in this kind of area, like if you're a doctor in the middle of New York City, you might be technically giving access to the people around you, but is there good ways to address, like there might just be too many people for one doctor, even if you're all technically in the access area?
Yeah, you need more doctors. I mean, this is an issue with primary care doctors. I don't quote me on this, but I think on average, a primary care doctor has like 2,500 patients in their kind of like docket, so to speak. And in some places, I think that they even go significantly higher than that due to demand. And then this is why now this concierge medicine thing is coming up, where you pay an annual fee to the doctor separate from like having insurance and for visits. And the doctors sometimes have as few as 300 or sometimes 600 patients. And so you have much more access and longer appointments and whatever, sort of like what it should be without having to pay extra. You can now pay for if you want it and you have the means, because it's gotten so crazy with PCPs.
Good old means.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that's what's on my mind about just basically trying to fix the whole American medical system.
It's a big task. Good to hear from you, Sullivan. What's the temperature like in Phoenix these days?
Not as bad as you'd think, although in part that's because it's not summer yet.
Right.
Actually, it's pretty overcast today with a chance of rain.
All right. Well, let's see what happens with that chance, and I look forward to hearing from you again.
Yeah, we'll be sure to call in again. Have a good one.
All right. Sullivan from Phoenix. Matt says via Super Chat, David, you get to interview Trump, but only get 2 questions. What are they? Does your wife really call you sir? And why are you flushing the toilet 10 to 15 times? I think that those are the things I'm most curious about that have not been asked already. Let's go to Lucas from Vermont. Lucas from Vermont, welcome to the program.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I was wondering what your stance on transitioning to a 14-month calendar is.
I've never heard that proposed. Why would we do it?
So, basically what it would do is, when, it would make all months, or all days of the month, fall on the same week, no matter, like, what month we're in, and it would make every single month an equal amount of days. So it would, like, kind of make it easier for people, I guess. That's, like, the main argument.
That's really interesting. So, in other words, with a 14-month calendar, how many days per month would it be?
I forget. I did not see, but all I know is, like, the same amount. I think, like, 30, I'm pretty sure.
You know, the thing that's not making sense to me about that is 365 divided by 14. That's 26.07, and 365, because it's an odd number, it's not going to divide evenly into 14. You just can see that right away. So I don't know how that would really work.
Yeah, I've seen some people argue for it. That was like the main argument I've heard. I just think the transition might just not be worth it.
The transition would be crazy. Yeah, because then it's just, it's an interesting idea, but there's a leap year. Oh, okay. All right. People are adding to it. I'd have to think through the math,
Yeah.
Where in Vermont are you?
I'm in Putney. It's a small town. I'm going to a college called Landmark.
Oh,
currently.
okay. Yeah. I've been through Putney. Is Putney on 89?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's just at like -20 here a few weeks ago.
You ever get up to Burlington?
Kind of cold. Burlington, I have not been there yet. I just moved here like 6 months ago.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. All right. Well, listen, let me look into the calendar thing, okay?
Okay.
All right. Very good.
All right.
There is Lucas from Vermont. Oh, people are saying the solar calendar divides the year into 13 months of 28 days. Right. But 13 times 28 is 364. Oh, and then you have a leap year with one more. Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's not bad. I kind of like that. That's pretty interesting, I have to say. I want to say thanks to Josh Barrow, who just signed up at joinpacman.com with the coupon code TikTokFeb. Also want to say thanks to Tiny Sir Jen, who just gifted 5 subscriptions via Twitch, putting us at 116. 116. It's incredible. Oh, TikTok, by the way, our TikTok has exploded. I don't even know what's happening. We're almost at 400,000 followers on TikTok. Last month, I think my colleague John told me we had 32 million views on TikTok in a month. That's insane. So the next thing with TikTok is they have this new creative fund that we want to be part of so we can like better monetize our content. We don't make anything on TikTok. And we're going to keep pushing. I've been doing the live streams and different things. It's really a hell of a platform for us. A lot of people saying, David, it's all bots. It's all bots. I now get recognized as much from people who say I watch you on TikTok as I do from people who say I watch you anywhere else. If it were bots, people wouldn't be coming up to me, on the street with tears all down their face saying, I watch you on TikTok, Ellie McCormick just gifted a membership at joinpacman.com and is new member number 117 today. Let's go to, I don't know. How about Drew from New York? Drew from New York, welcome to the stream. I can hear you fine.
Awesome. Okay, I have 2 things. First off, I don't know if you watched, but I think it was a few days ago or a week ago, it was the Wisconsin Supreme Court primary, which had the runoff. I noticed that when you add up the liberal justice and the conservative justice votes, it goes to liberals by like +7. I'm wondering if the primary turnout is equitable at all to the actual election, which happens in April.
I have no idea. Are you typing right now out of curiosity?
No.
You're not? Oh, interesting. I honestly am not sure. I have not followed that closely enough to be able to say, but I know a couple people emailed me about it. Let me look into that and see.
Okay. The other thing, I noticed about a month and a half ago, you had someone called in asking about NASCAR, which I noticed there were 2 things that you mentioned in that. There are a few northeastern tracks like in New Hampshire and Pennsylvania, but I also noticed that you said you're interested in it as an anthropological experiment.
Yes.
So my dad has always gone to every race that I've been to, and he said that every time he goes, like NASCAR fans at the racetrack are the most unhealthy people he's ever seen.
Unhealthy physically?
Yes.
Oh, like what do you mean? They're obese?
Basically, yes.
Oh, interesting. Huh. I don't know what to make of that.
I thought you might find that partly interesting.
It does seem interesting. Yeah, maybe someday I'll go to a NASCAR race. Who knows?
Yeah. Are you like in the city? Or sorry,
Yeah.
I shouldn't ask. I know. So the closest track would be Pocono in Pennsylvania. There is one in upstate New York, as you had thought, but it's about twice as far away.
So how far is the Pocono one from the city?
So I live on Long Island, obviously. It's about 2.5 hours where I am, and I think I'm about 40 minutes away from the city.
Okay.
So less than 2-hour drive to
Maybe
Long
under
Pond,
2 hours.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And then where's the upstate one?
Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen. Okay. All right. Well, listen, maybe someday I'll find myself at a NASCAR race.
All righty.
All right, my friend. Great to hear from you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Very good. Let's go next to Ray Gunn from Washington State. Ray Gunn, welcome back to the program. It's been so long, and it's great to have you here. Let's see if Ray Gunn will accept. Actually, this might be the other Ray Gunn. Either way, both Ray Guns have been on. And Ray Gunn is not even accepting the invitation to be on, so we may never even find out which one it is, interestingly enough. Which would honestly be pretty sad. Honestly, be pretty damn sad. Ray Gunn, okay, you're on. You there, buddy?
David.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Is this me?
Let me guess, you're using like some kind of Bluetooth?
Well, you know what? That last guy was typing. I don't care what he says. I heard it too.
But you're not really. Are you using Bluetooth right now?
neither here nor there, David.
Yeah.
I wanted to
You're a
ask you
lawyer,
how
right?
the
You know how to
baby-
not answer a question, I guess.
I want to know how the baby is doing.
Baby is doing well.
Okay. Any new lessons recently about child rearing?
No, I mean,
Anything
you know,
interesting you wanna
it's
share?
stunning. When I look at the newborn pictures, I'm like, who is that baby? It looks nothing like her.
It's strange. Yeah.
Yeah. You know how I can
strange.
tell we're,
All
you know,
right.
you know how I can tell you're on a Bluetooth? Because there's a delay. You're hearing me on a delay.
No, I'm just soaking it all in, David. It's very rare that I get to talk to you, and when I do, I just want to cherish the moment.
Right.
Hey, have a good day. I enjoy the show and enjoy what you do. Take care.
This is it? Yeah, that's all you got for me?
Well, I did want to. I had some other commentary, but I don't know if you have time.
Well, give me a hint of it, and I'll tell you if it's good.
All right. Let me ask you this.
Please.
So there was this thing in 2016 during the debates where all the candidates wanted to go soft on Trump because they thought that they could court Trump's followers and that Trump would burn out, right?
Right.
So everyone was really nice. Even like Chris Christie, who was kind of known for being an asshole, was like being really conciliatory to Trump.
Yep.
And it was clear that was a strategy. And DeSantis is doing the same thing now. And I don't know that he has a choice because I don't know if he has the chops to be a dick.
Yeah.
But it seems like that kind of would have to be the strategy. Otherwise, you're just going to get, totally cucked by Trump, it seems like to me. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. And I know that every time I talk about this, people write to me and they have some kind of different view on this. I understand why DeSantis isn't just blasting Trump yet, because he's not even running. So it would be weird to already be like insulting Trump and going ad hominem. At the same time, the guy is so uncharismatic that I just don't see how I think Trump's going to crush him if he actually runs, if and when a national campaign gets going. And I think DeSantis isn't well suited to go low, and also going high isn't going to get him the nomination. So it's just not looking good to me.
Yeah. When I hear the local talk radio guys talk, I mean, we joke about the nicknames Trump gives people and stuff like that because it's kind of funny, but
yeah,
that's what those guys really care about.
Yeah.
On the right, like they're thirsty for the insults. And I think like if you're trying to do this, Trump was a great president and what a nice guy. I'm not going to get down in the dirt with him. I just think you're going to get steamrolled. I don't know if there's a way around it.
You are. Listen, Reagan, I appreciate you turning off the Bluetooth. That was really kind of you. And I do think that we're going to be watching this primary very, very closely.
Yeah, more and more people are talking about it.
About Bluetooth? I know, it's crazy.
Bye, David.
All right, thanks. Good to hear from you. There's Ray Gunn from Washington dumping in some knowledge. Always great to hear from him. Why don't we go next to Ike from Lagos? Ike, we tried to make the connection with Ike earlier. Ike from Lagos. Is this Lagos, Nigeria, my friend?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Had a problem with my microphone earlier, but it's Lagos, Nigeria.
Ike, I believe you are the second. I don't know that you are Nigerian, but you're the second caller from Nigeria that we've had.
Well, I've actually called earlier before, but that
so
wasn't
you're
me
the same guy. No, wait, but hold on. Do you mean earlier today?
No, but I've called you before, but that was when I was in university in Scotland.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, I am Nigerian. But I just wanted to call to wanted to know how much you know about our elections going on. We had election on Saturday, so just wondering how much you may have heard about that.
I have not been following it.
Yeah, but very interesting actually, because this is arguably the tightest election in our history. Not that our democratic history is that long. I mean, I know about Argentinian history, and both our countries, aside from a love of football, we share a lot with regards to, you know, military dictatorships controlling our country for a long time. But this election is actually one of the tightest, and I just wanted to speak a little bit about it. Three candidates, basically. And if you know anything about Nigeria, it's a very diverse country. You know, lots of ethnicities, lots of different tribes. Basically split down in half between Muslims and Christians. And so, you know, you have three candidates, two of them Muslim, one from the north, one from the south. And the third one, Peter Obi, this is the one that's been making a lot of waves internationally. You may have seen some reports about him. He's the candidate that a lot of younger people in this country have really taken to. He's almost like a Bernie Sanders, if I had to compare him to like an American analog. You know, he represents the Labour Party. He's the one that a lot of the younger ones have taken to. He's a Southern Christian of Igbo ethnicity. I'm also Igbo as well. So a lot of people in my family have been very, very passionate about him. And the results came out. He finished in third place. A lot of people you know, they're doubting the results. I don't want to sort of compare it to like what you have with Trump, where he was sort of, you know, refusing to accept the results. But obviously, you know, African countries don't really have a strong tradition of you know, stable and you know, clean elections. So possibly, you know, right now the international people that came down to help with the elections, they don't really see any issues with it. They think, you know, there were problems, of course, in terms of coordinating the vote, but not in terms of outright rigging or anything.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting case. I mean, right now they're gonna go through the process, you know, of you know, going to the courts and, you know, seeing.
Well, we are going to follow it all. Did you have a question for me today? And I ask only because we have so many people waiting and we're taking questions today.
So I just wanted to ask, you know, how much you knew about it. And
very little, unfortunately. I wish I had more time to follow more closely any number of countries, including Nigeria. But I will do my research, my friend.
Yeah. All right. No problem. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
EK from Lagos. Great to hear from you. Very, very interesting country, Nigeria, and one that I know more about than many other African countries, I would say, but not nearly enough to speak with facility about the subject matter. Okay, let's go to, I don't know. Why don't we go to Donut from Virginia? Donut from Virginia, welcome to the live stream. What's on your mind today? Donut, go. You got to unmute yourself, Donut. You're muted. Self-mute. Self-mutes are unfortunate.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, so I wanted to ask a question that what advice do you have for like young men in particular who watch your show?
Well, advice for what and in which situation? I don't have so I don't have like a list of 12 things like Jordan B. Peterson, where I would say young men should clean their rooms, you know. If you tell me more about the situation, I can do my best to give advice. Let me do it a different way. Here's what I would suggest. Get a consistent sleep schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Make sure that you don't get dehydrated. Try to have at least 150 minutes a week of aerobic exercise where you were at least elevating your heart rate a little bit, health status permitting. Limit the amount of time that you spend on social media and consuming news. Try to schedule in at least 20 minutes a day to read, and try to get at least 5 showers a week. That would be my general advice to young men.
Yeah, thank you. That's all I wanted to ask.
All right, very good. There is Donut from Virginia. You know, sometimes when I get calls like that, it's like I start to go, well, you know, it's like, it's very hard to answer that. Can you tell me like what's going on or like What kind of advice are you looking for? I should just answer the questions as asked. You know, like why do I have to come in and say the question doesn't really make sense, and a lot of these people who just give generic advice to everyone, it's really not tailored. I should just give the advice. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's so much simpler. It's so much simpler. Okay, let's go to Nathan from Melbourne. Nathan from Melbourne, welcome to the live stream. What is it, like 9:15 Thursday morning there? Oh, God. Nathan from Melbourne, you've got to accept the invitation, please.
Hey, David. It's about 11:15 here.
11:15? Wait, so it's 16 hours later? How is that possible with only 24 time zones? I don't even get it.
It's Thursday, 11:15.
All right. Well, I believe
yeah,
you,
no.
but it just sounds odd, you know?
It's very strange.
Yeah.
I actually work mostly with folks in the US, so I sort of live half my life on US time zones.
All right. Fair enough. Well, what's on your mind today?
Yeah, I was just going to ask about, do you have any philosophy that you take to issues of boycotts and cancellations? So I know something that comes up a lot is often on the left, there's, a push to boycott folks that are perhaps, spreading ideas that aren't particularly progressive.
Yeah.
I'm thinking particularly at the moment in the media, there's a lot of attention being paid to J.K. Rowling.
Yep.
And like her influence on trans issues. And there's a lot of boycotting of the Hogwarts Legacy game, which has come out recently.
Yeah.
I don't know. What kind of philosophy do you
Here's
take
my
for things like
philosophy
that?
on boycotts. Let's take it in parts, okay? Boycotts, 100% a form of speech, completely valid as a tactic, beyond reproach. People should feel free and should be confident that they should be allowed to boycott, call for a boycott, ask advertisers to boycott, all 100% fair game, okay? Speech can have consequences. Someone says something you find deplorable, you organize a boycott, that's your speech, everybody's speaking, free market of ideas, etc. That's statement number one. Number two, I do think it's useful to be strategic when boycotts are used as a tool, because they can backfire. When they fail, it can sometimes hurt the cause, and sometimes people can get stuck in sort of like hypocritical situations or sticky situations. I'll give you one example. I am not a supporter of the boycott Israel movement, like personally, and there's a bunch of reasons why. I think it actually often hurts the very Palestinians that I think some people think it would help. But one of the really interesting things about it is it's almost always sort of like, well, let me boycott some stuff. Like I'll boycott some of the food products. Like I'm not going to go to Trader Joe's because they have Israeli feta cheese. It's like, okay. But when it comes to all of the medical products, all of the medications, and all of the medical technology that comes from Israel. Well, no, that's different. That's different. No, that's totally different. No. I mean, because people's lives are at stake and blah, 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 blah. All right. Well, then, so like, you don't really mean it, do you? It's like when it's convenient, you'll skip the Israeli feta at Trader Joe's. So, I think it's also important to bear in mind ways in which it might just not like function in exactly the right way, and you might end up in kind of a hypocritical situation. But as a tactic and as a technique in general, I have no problem with boycott as a tool whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that sounds interesting. I agree. I think a lot of the time there's a degree of pragmatism that often gets lost in boycotts, I find, and often I can feel that I agree with the sentiment of what people are putting out, but I can see in practice in the world it to many degrees is having the opposite effect to what they want, because it's just motivating the opposite side because perhaps they're lacking nuance in the discussion, or perhaps they're just being a bit too hard line about certain things. So yeah, no, I appreciate your thoughts.
All right. Great to hear from you. I appreciate it.
Have a good one.
All right. Let's go to, I don't know. How about, Let's go to Alex from Cardiff, Wales. Alex from Cardiff, Wales, welcome. What is it, like just past midnight there?
Yeah, so it's 20 past midnight.
Well, welcome. I'm
Quite
going to
late.
be in your neck of the woods soon. I don't think I'm actually going to make it to Cardiff, but I am going to be in southern England, maybe sort of like southwestern-ish England.
Oh, that's where I'm from before university, actually. So I actually study here at Cardiff for university, but I'm actually from like the more southern part of England.
Well, that's
beforehand.
actually, let me ask you then, if I'm going to be mostly in London, but I'm going to have about 3 days to go somewhere in the south of England. I've received recommendations for Brighton, Southampton, some of the smaller towns, Bournemouth, etc. My only requirements are that once I'm there, it's mostly walkable, that there's a pretty good food scene, and that it's relatively close to Gatwick Airport. Do you have a strong feeling of where I should go for 3 days?
Yeah, well, Southampton's quite good, but kind of the city on the other half of that's Portsmouth. Bit of a rivalry with Southampton. It's got good food. Everything's walking distance. It's kind of a small city with a massive dockyard. I think President Trump's actually done a speech there. So yeah, that'd be a very good place to visit. Really good culture and history there.
So Southampton would be your choice, even over Brighton.
Portsmouth.
I'm sorry, Portsmouth.
Sorry, yeah. Portsmouth,
over
yeah.
Brighton. Over Brighton.
Yeah. People do tend to like Brighton, but I think it's a bit overrated. Yeah, I'd say Portsmouth. Good culture there, good history.
Fair.
Got the old Royal Navy dockyard.
All right.
Definitely worth visiting.
I will investigate, but let me not take any more time away from you. What's on your mind today?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, kind of, where do you think, or how do you think America's got to the point where it's kind of divulged so much from the rest of kind of European politics? On the fact that we're quite united here in the majority of modern European countries. We're quite, like for example, the UK has the NHS, and lots of other countries like Germany have nationalised health services.
Yeah.
But when I see kind of US on TikTok and YouTube, it just seems so radically far right. All of it. It seems how they got to this point from kind of the rest of the world's politics.
You know, there's no simple answer to that. And the answer really would be like 10 different things. But I'll give you what I think is one big difference. There is a degree of so-called individualism in the United States that verges on the sociopathic that I don't see as prevalent, at least not in Western Europe when I visit. And I think it's not, I'm not saying it's the only factor. You know, everybody always wants to say, here's the one thing. There's no one thing, but the degree to which what people see as individualism has become completely weaponized, I think is a big factor in the departure from the Western European sort of tradition.
Of course, yeah. So yeah, I definitely see that when I'm watching kind of a lot of people kind of wanting to be unique and special in the fact of they have their free speech, they have their rights, and they want to kind of exercise them constantly. I think we're kind of more just chill around here in the rest of Europe. We like it how it is. We're happy with things. Don't really want this extreme change.
Interesting. Yeah, no, and there are so many other differences as well, but I do think that's one big one.
That's great. Well, thank you very much, David.
All right, my pleasure. There's Alex from Cardiff, Wales, with some recommendations and a lot of very interesting and important things. Let's go next to Dino from San Francisco. Dino from San Francisco, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Hello, David. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you and well, yes.
Okay, perfect. I have a question about the Russia and Ukraine conflict. During the Iraq War and during America's large involvements in the Middle East during the 2000s, I grew up hearing my dad listen to Republican talk radio. I grew up hearing Fox News on the TV a lot.
Yep.
And a lot of it was, quite frankly, Islamophobia, fear-mongering about Islamic terrorism. And it seemed that Republicans in Congress, Republicans in the media were quite united in this American patriotism and, advancing the war in the Middle East and getting them in Iraq. But now we have Russia, which is one of the United States' historical rivals with the Cold War legacy. And we have people in Congress like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Matt Gaetz, saying things like not another penny will go to Ukraine for Russia if Republicans take over. We have Tucker Carlson running defense for Russia on Fox News. Many other hosts on Fox News running defense for Russia, seeming to belittle Ukraine. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, okay, Russia invades Ukraine, how does the right react? I think the right could have galvanized a lot of support and could have made it a policy decision of theirs, especially with their links to the defense industry, to really support Ukraine for democracy, for the republic, for patriotism, whatever they would try to spin it. But you have so many conservatives writing defense for Russia, while the left in the media, in Congress, the Biden administration seems to be pretty united in that Ukraine should receive some support and Russia is completely wrong in their invasion.
100% correct preamble. Now, Dino, did you have a question today?
Yeah, well, why do you think Republicans are running so much defense for Russia?
Well, the dynamics have shifted, and you can even go back. You can go back some ways where the right started becoming sort of not immediately enamored, but sort of curious about the ways of the authoritarians. The right started employing increasingly populist rhetoric, but it was backed with authoritarian ideas. And the natural reaction when that's the case is you end up where MAGA Trumpism ended up, which is basically being most interested in other authoritarians. And that includes Erdogan, Duterte, Putin, Kim Jong-un, Bolsonaro. And so this has been something that has taken place over a number of years. You're 100% correct that if you zoom out, you would have thought that Russia invading Ukraine would have been the perfect opportunity for Republicans to say, we need to go and spread democracy and make a hell of a lot of money doing it with our defense contractors or whatever the case may be. That alignment has changed dramatically starting a couple years before Donald Trump took office and accelerated when Trump took office. And you get to where we are today. Orban as well. Viktor Orban is another one they love.
Yeah, when he spoke, Viktor Orban at CPAC really blew my mind. Like
chilling stuff.
But do you think it's a miscalculation by Republicans? Like, I think, let's be honest here, they're having difficulty winning elections with, 2022 midterms and, what Paul Ryan was saying about how Trump keeps losing them elections.
Yeah.
I think they could have galvanized a lot of support if they were super pro-Russia. If you put yourself, in the mind of a Republican insider, do you think that was a miscalculation, or do they actually gain a lot of support by, advancing the rhetoric and supporting these authoritarians like you're talking about?
I think it's not clear to me that there's much impact one way or the other. I think the core of the base just falls in line with whatever the talking points are. And I don't have any reason right now to think it's a needle mover one way or the other, to be totally honest.
Okay. Very interesting, David. Thank you for your analysis. I watch your show every day. I love it.
My pleasure. Dino from San Francisco, great to hear from you. All right, folks, that's going to do it for CPAC Day 1. There was no CPAC. They seem to have canceled Day 1. Tomorrow is Day 2. I will be back. It's going to be an incredible thing, and I look forward to seeing everybody then. Thank you to everybody who signed up and got memberships and supported in all of these different ways. Let's go for 2 in a row. We'll see everybody tomorrow.